Here we have the 30-minute price chart for Intel Corporation, stock ticker INTC. Here we can see that the stock is still in the process of making an impressive run higher here. We have seen a fairly significant breakout here to start the week, and this is a deeply encouraging move, given the fact that this chart's longer term history really looks quite depressed in nature. And we have been caught in a very tight sideways trading range for an extended period of time. Of course, if you're not familiar with this stock, we should kind of point to the prior declines that have taken place here. We've been calling for an upside breakout here in Intel, and this move is coming to fruition here. However, it has to be understood that this upside period, has followed a tremendous period of decline in the stock over a relatively short period of time. We're really talking about it's really just this year. I mean, these prior highs were posted in December 2023, posting at just above $51 per share. And then we've been caught in this roughly $30 trading range here for quite some time. And anybody that's familiar with the market understands that um, these types of trading ranges often represent periods of indecision in the market. Many investors and traders are probably looking for the next signal, the next major signal. What's the next major development in the company that's likely to influence price trends, and start sending things in a new direction, or perhaps in the same direction that preceded these range trading conditions. So overall, we can see here that this is an impressive price move. And it precedes a long, very long, tightly constricted trading range here. This current move higher does have some interesting characteristics that we need to point out. Overall, we can see that there was an initial price gap that was formed in this stock. In some sense, this is surprising because, just because of the trading activity that preceded this price move. You don't see a lot of gapping activity here. And prices themselves, are trading within a very tight, just above $32 on the top side, and possible small spikes below $30 to the downside. So we're talking about a $2 or $3 difference here. It's really not much when you're looking at the potential price moves for a large company like Intel. So overall, this recent spike higher does have some interesting characteristics, and they don't really fall in line with the near term averages here. So in particular, the first thing we do need to point to would be this price gap here, which would be influential if we were to start to see share prices fall once again. If we did fall below the roughly 32.90 level, we would have to start to expect this gap to be filled. So this would actually become a bit of a negative event if this did occur. If we did see prices move down into this region, because we could be looking at roughly 90 cents in share price declines here relatively quickly. In addition to that, we do have this very strange kind of red candle up here. You can see that it's really an outsized candle. This came, at the beginning of a trading session. Essentially, what happened here is that prices gapped higher. We did see another price gap here, but this gap kind of filled itself, on its own. And the result here was this kind of deep red candle. So, these are some interesting phenomena that are happening here, and it does suggest a bit of volatility here after an extended period of sideways trading activity. So overall, we are seeing a bit of a rollover here, a bit of a slowdown in price momentum. I wouldn't exactly get concerned just yet if you're holding long positions here, because there are a few pieces of evidence here that support share price action at current levels, and even suggest the strong probability for higher trending moves here going forward. So the first thing that we would want to point to is just the simple fact that uh, you know the share price itself is really kind of behaving this moving average support line. This is a 30-minute chart, so each candle represents a 30-minute trading period. And this yellow line here is the 30-period exponential moving average, so the prior 20 trading periods. And as we can see here, it is really falling in line here with the overall trajectory that is being shown with this moving average. If we did start to see prices decline below this yellow line here, this upper price level, we would start to focus on the orange line first, which would be the 50 period exponential moving average. Um, but overall, this would mean that we would start to see a slowdown in price momentum, because it would also mean that we would be losing support at roughly 34.10. So, if you're looking to trade this on a shorter term basis, the first support line that I would be watching would come in at the 34.10 level. But what we can see here is the fact that these moving average lines are moving up quite quickly. This is a strong move higher. Whereas before they were trading almost sideways, like almost completely sideways. So this is a drastic difference here, and it really does suggest that there is a major trend movement. For these reasons, it's pretty surprising that we're not hearing more about the stock in the news media. I mean, it's such a major company. I mean, this is one of the central one of the most important CPU manufacturers in the world. I mean, you could argue that it is the most important CPU manufacturer in the world. I mean, if you compare, Intel's product line with the AMD product line, Intel has had a much more stable, reliable history when compared to the AMD products. The current Ryzen line in AMD is an excellent product, especially in terms of price to performance. Um, but that doesn't really mark. The AMD's history is not filled with rising eras. I mean, there have been some very disappointing eras in AMD's history. So, given the fact that this is such an important company, and we're seeing all these moves higher in artificial intelligence stocks, it's still mystifying. I mean, I don't understand why this stock doesn't get more attention. It should be, much more central, in the market conversation for a large number of reasons. And, this move higher is significant. I mean, we can see that there is a very clear breakout here. I mean, there's not much question about this, especially when you consider, the stock's, sideways trading history, which has been in place since roughly the middle of April. So currently, to the downside, I would be looking at 34.10 as a possible support zone. If we do see a break below this point, we could start to look at roughly 32.90. This would be the beginning of the price gap that formed earlier, and it would also represent some alignment with this purple line here, which is the 100 period exponential moving average. These two areas could start to work as potential support zones going forward, but I do think that if we did break below this 32.90 level, we could be seeing a test of 32 or 32.10 relatively quickly, because we are starting to see a bit of some evidence of erratic price action here, some definite increases in overall share price volatility. So these are some things to watch here in upcoming trading sessions. So here's the current market analysis for Intel Corporation, stock ticker INTC.